financially meet the needs that they are looking for.
Yeah, because they're looking for
Saying?
something different. Yeah, it's schweppy. Like, honestly, if like we took me and Cole's idea and we had Capcom run it right now, it wouldn't work and no one would sign up for it because they're clearly their ideas would come off wrong even if they're right. And like I've been to MLG for StarCraft 2, and I'll tell you right now, like even if you don't have PR Balrog or Infiltration or anybody in this league, I've been to MLG for StarCraft 2, and if I just shout out, who here loves to play Street Fighter? Everyone will raise their hand, and they will play in this the pros.
Yeah.
Don't even need
Yeah,
the
we
pros.
don't. Yeah, I'm not worried about the pros. They can hate all they want. They're gonna ignore the first season and
they're gonna have to play.
Season,
yeah, they're gonna have
all
to
these
play.
People having fun and getting claimed as the best, and then they're gonna be like, you know what? Dang, I guess this thing is not going away.
First of all, we need to say something about the pros and the space that they're in terms of pros. Now, everyone has their concept of what a pro or professional is, or whatever the case may be. We can sit here and argue forever, but I want to look at one part of the entire pro conversation that's not looked upon. All right, pros have an obligation. And that obligation as a professional to their scene and to their industry is to actually promote. You have a lot of pros who feel that they're entitled because they've won a championship or something like that, that the only job that they're delegated to is to, relegated to is to simply play the game. They go on Twitter and they post, I'm going to this tournament, or get a promo code and they go, my job is done. And they could not be more wrong than ever. A professional's job is to go out and help influence. I don't want to use the word inundate. I think it's a little bit too strong, but to help influence the growth and the development of their section or segment or whatever you want to call it of the competitive industry, also known as esports. And when you look at the pros in the fighting game arena, less than 1% of the pros do that. And then people wonder why the FGC isn't growing. In StarCraft, in League of Legends, in Call of Duty, even down to Halo and Gears of War, when it comes out, you know something? Even in Smash Brothers, the top players push hard and work hard. Playing isn't just what they do. These guys go out and they make themselves available not only to social media, but to mainstream media. And they do everything in their power to help bridge the gap with other people outside of gaming to come in. For some reason, in the FGC, that does not happen. That's exaggerated. That rarely happens. And you don't see a lot of players making the effort to get those things done. I look at some of these top players out in the FGC and I say to myself, if some of these guys would just take the time to focus on media development and using their huge influence and going out in the world and trying to do comprehensive things that would bring positive light to the FGC and bring people from the outside in, I think we could break open that door. And the leagues are the only ones that actually want to do it. They just can't get their hands on the fighting games.
Yeah, honestly, I want to give a quick shout out to that point right there, Triforce. That is why I'm working with these guys, battlefy.com, and, shout out to those guys because they are really trying to gather all these esports genres as a whole and, and help kind of bring the outside gaming community people involved to help invest and sponsor. You can go to their website, www.battlefy.com, and, they're already getting big wigs like, Hollywood talent agencies and all these supporters and investors and angel investors supporting their way to basically make it an easier time for esports and stuff. They got like this January 1.3 million in seed funding, and they continue. And basically, they're an improved challenge.com, and the site is amazing, and it supports leagues. Like, you don't even have to do half the work. Like the stuff that you're talking about, Brett, for the most part, you could even use their site right now and do half the work and probably just focus on team signups and stats and make your job even easier. But, there are guys out there right now that are trying to do that. They're trying to bring that outside element into esports to support it, because that is exactly what we need. It's going into mainstream. Competitive gaming is going into mainstream, and it's going to take, everybody to kind of bring it up there.
Can I add something to what you just said, Cole?
Yeah.
And actually, it's a question. Let me ask you this question, because you know all the guys in the FGC. You see how you saw that comprehensive statement you just put out, in where not only you put out the website, you gave a short description of the company, what they're trying to do in terms of their goals for the community, and then you reference their service to someone already in the community. What you just did there, how many people in the FGC pros do you know do that?
Oh, I know there's guys that go out and do stuff like that. There's guys that genuinely go and try. It's just,
yeah, but I guess his point.
the economy is very difficult right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors going on. There are people that go out and try.
That's the funny thing.
I agree.
He's I think what Triforce is trying to say is, yes, there is guys that do that, but there's a majority that do not do that, and they just take their fame for granted and just really expect, to just get without providing. There are some very good guys that represent their company and know how to sell themselves, sell their company, promote themselves, and all that stuff. But there's a lot that do not know that, and they don't do it. And for me, that's the kind of element that I want to actually bring with my website, is to help some of these pro players promote themselves. That's why with dojosports.com, we're looking to build kind of like fighter profiles and label them as free agents, so they can go on there, make their fighter profile, have their little vlog on what they're about, so people can actually know what they're about, and so they can start really at a basic level or at an amateur level, start learning how to promote themselves properly. And when they do get a sponsor, they'll already be in that element of promoting and will just naturally start doing it. And right now, a lot of people just don't really know how. So I'm not really kind of calling them out saying they're not doing it right. It's just a lot of people just don't know how, and some people are doing it, but it's a small percentage that is doing it. And everybody needs to do it. They need to embrace it, and it needs to be a natural thing. That's why the FGC is kind of progressing slowly, because a lot of people just don't know.
That's actually my point. It's just not enough. Very few are doing it, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So.
But we're growing, and we're still going to be. There's people are fighting for what we believe, and it's gonna pop.
Shit!
People are gonna make it happen. Oh, we can hear you now. What's up? Welcome back.
Damn it! I've been trying to talk. I had the mic muted. What the? Oh, what the? I've been trying to talk for so long.
That's what happened, Saki.
For so long. Unbelievable. Anyway, Triforce, can I interject at something towards you real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. No. And what you brought up. This is like 20 minutes late now. Damn it. Because I couldn't.
Next topic, Bobby. Do we have any questions?
But anyway, cut to commercial. But yeah, no. So Triforce. So here's the thing, right? Like, you were talking about like the competitive scene, and I'll tell you right now, Cole, you're creeping me out with your video feed. I thought you were gonna rise from the ashes. But no, it's like, so okay. I come from games that you had mentioned, like StarCraft, like League of Legends, like Counter-Strike and stuff. It's the reason why esports was easier for them than it is the FGC is because it has a better built-in ladder system online, right? Like, when I go on to Street Fighter, I just hit Xbox Live, create match or join lobby or whatever. You don't know who you're playing. League of Legends has bronze, silver, gold, diamond, or platinum, diamond, challenger. StarCraft 2 has, bronze up to master. Counter-Strike Go now has like this segment. It allows you to consistently play people of your skill to get better, and Street Fighter does not have that. Now that alone is going to cripple your online stream monster, if you will, community. We don't have fun that way. We love to start shitty and play other shitties. Like, that's what we want. Like, that's how you get better, and that's how you learn. You take it in waves. You don't just be like... And especially because in League of Legends, if you play somebody that much better than you, you still get to play the game. If you play somebody in a fighting game that's that much better than you, you get so blown up, you don't even get to hit a button. And so that is... Which is dope, from like a shit on you standpoint, you know what I mean? It's like, like I'm just in your head, but from a learning standpoint, that's terrible. And so this is what this league is for,
right?
Yeah, that's what it's for. It's to give an opportunity and a scenario for people like me, that play other games. And like I said, fighting games is the one game that everyone from every genre wants to play. I have very good friends that are pros in RTS, FPS, MOBAs. In every single one of them is like, dude, I would love to get down with fighting games. There's no reason not to.
It too.
You can get home from work. Yeah, you can get home from work and play 1 hour of fighting games and feel like you accomplished a lot. Whereas you can get home from work and play 1 game of League. You're like, oh, I can't wait to work on my...
Depending on the results, you might either be mad, sad, happy,
you have 1 hour of your day, you're like, well, let's play some League, I want to work on my support. You're like, oh, I'll pick Jaina this game. Before you know it, it's been a 45-minute game, and you're like, well, I guess I only got to play Jaina today. You know what I mean? Like, and there goes your afternoon. Everyone wants to play fighting games. And I speak... I know I say like I'm speaking like I speak for everyone.
For all genres outside.
But I do, because I have friends that are not. I'm the only one here that is not FGC centric. I'm telling you right now, we all want to fucking play, man. The games are so good.
Is it a game? We just want to play games. Just want to play.
The only way.
Want to play fighting games. It's so cool. And if we do something like this, everyone can, and not feel self-conscious or not feel overwhelmed or intimidated, or that they're not good enough to just go online and just get dogged. Do you
think out of all the communities, that you've experienced, are we the one that has the most hype in it?
Hype.
What draws people is
you're
that excitement?
You're talking about like crowd presence at a tournament? Is that
even that excitement that, makes people want to play and stuff. Is that...
It's scary. I'll tell you right now, it's scary. It is absolutely hype. I love to watch it on stream, and I love to be there in person when everyone's jumping up, like during a Marvel match, and everyone's like, but everybody's looking at their bros. I'll tell you what, I love it, but I'm not going to jump up and scream myself, because I'm going to feel like an idiot, because I'm going to be by myself. I'm going to jump in with, yo, and then look around and try to high-five someone, and no one's going to high-five me, man. Like, that's just how the community works, and it's not okay. It's not okay.
I honestly, when it comes to hype, it to be very honest with you, the hype. I don't want to try to downplay. I don't want to make this a West Coast thing or East Coast thing, but I do want to. Based on my experience, I do want to bring to the table the whole thing about hype. Hype is based on the dynamics of the people that are what we would call emceeing the event. There are key individuals in the crowd, key individuals competing, key individuals on commentary that lends their master of ceremony presence into the scene to make things what it is. Because when you talk about hype, it is not because it's just the FGC. Because if that was the case, then let me ask you a parallel question to the situation. Which one brings you more hype, MMA and boxing, or football and basketball? And the answer should be, it depends what you're into. Mm-hmm. So there's no game or sport that's more hype than the other. It all simply depends on what you're into, because when you look at the League of Legends World Championship, I'm sorry, that is like 100 folds of evil. Now, as a fighting game player, you ask them, do they think that was hype? They'll tell you no. So it's all about who you have, and I call this term, it's called sensationalizing. The FGC does a great job sensationalizing their personalities, and their personalities, guys like Yipes, guys like Filipino Champ, and
Yipes is my favorite, dude. I love it. I'll listen to him all day. I think he's wonderful, and I think he embodies what you need. But to interject real quick, Triforce, is like, you know how you said, like, League of Legends players will be like, that was hype, you watch League of Legends, but, you know, FGC players will be like, I don't know about it. What maybe you guys in the FGC don't realize is, it may not work backwards, but it works forwards. The League of Legends players that watch the FGC shit will be like, dude, that is hype. The StarCraft players will be like, that is hype. I have a roommate right next to me, there he is, and he doesn't play any games, and he watches fighting game tournaments. Well, okay, so he plays like Madden and Tiger Woods. He doesn't play esports games, and he'll watch the stream, and when he sees it go down, it gets hyped. That's the thing, is like the FGC has such an explosive spectator atmosphere.
We're in that boxing, UFC kind of
That's
category.
That's what I'm saying. It's like when you
see
watch
someone get punched in the face, you know what happens
dude.
when you see him get comboed and then he's laying on the ground not getting up. You understand what's going on, whether you know the game or not.
I agree. And so Triforce, just what you're saying, yeah, maybe the FGC might not recognize it, but to let you know, man, we in other genres, we love your shit, dude.
Well, first of all, there's a big misconception here. You said we love your shit. First of all, fighting games isn't my thing. Believe it or not, I am not from the fighting game community. I just manage a bunch of top fighters. I'm from the classic gaming scene. Me personally,
Tetris Attack. Let's go.
Yeah, Tetris Attack, Mario, regular Tetris, Pokemon.
We love your fighting game shit. We love it. We love it. From any genre, dude.
You want to know so funny? I don't. I don't like fighting games. I don't.
Really? You're nuts. You're nuts.
I play it, but I do not like it. And there's a reason why I don't like it, is because I look at the game from a fundamental standpoint. When it comes to creating fighting games from the development standpoint, fighting games are terrible. This isn't going to help
our argument, is it?
No, I'm just telling you why.
Actually, I want to say.
You can't talk about how you don't like fighting games when we're trying to promote this.
One thing that one thing Triforce did say is that I want to focus on is the way fighting games are developed.
Exactly.
This is another problem with fighting games right now in this era, is that the business model or the developing model needs to change. The original old school business model of making a fighting game for a company was like, hey, we have this extra budget because we did so well with our single player games. Let's kind of, expand to these fans and give them the fighting game that they kind of like all day. So we can just make a quick buck, we'll make like 2 changes here and then it's done. There's no monetization coming back. They just put it out there. They make their money. They're done. You know what I'm saying? But with this new competitive gaming era and competitive gaming on the rise, the business, the developing model needs to change. They need to start thinking like, okay, we want to make a fighting game. Well, let's get into this esports era. We can actually make money throughout the year if we just focus on this and build it from the ground up with esports and competitive gaming in mind. You know what I'm saying? And that is a problem right now. It's like, the developers are still kind of iffy on like, is it, should we take a risk with esports? Or we see all these other esports genres. Yeah, that's PC world. Yeah, they're doing great, but we're fighting games. We've just been doing this for the fans. And it's like Mortal Kombat, They're like, why are we going to change what we do? We sell 7 million copies all the time and now sell every fighting game on the market. Even though in the competitive market, no one really likes Mortal Kombat. Well, Mortal Kombat 9 is great.
Yeah, I mean, they get paid.
But that's the problem right now. We need, and right now, Sega has stepped it up. a long time ago, but that's another problem with the FGC that we can talk about later. Is that they're only focusing on one or two games, and any other fighting game that comes out is like, that's not Marvel, that's not Street Fighter, and that's another problem. It's like we're fighting games. You know what I'm saying? We got to support. There's so many good games out there. But we have Sega, we have Tecmo for DOA. Those companies get involved. But, and then Capcom is just now, shout outs, Cobble Fiend and those guys, finally trying to get Capcom to be in their pro league. But that's a baby step. But that is what is needed. If Capcom makes another fighter and it's not esports in mind, they've already lost. And that's why I'm giving shout outs to Killer Instinct, because Microsoft understands. Even though they lost their team, they're still like, you know what? We're following everything League of Legends is doing. We got the free-to-play model. We got the rotating free characters and stuff. They're getting up in there. So,
and the thing is why I wanted to bring this up is because what Cole and I are trying to do here, like together as a cohesive unit, is, it doesn't need developer backing. It doesn't need pro scene backing. It doesn't need anything, man. I'm telling you right now. What this is just come play. Just come play and have fun. It doesn't matter if it's esports or this, and we can talk our ears off about the developers and things, and what Cole was just saying and what Triforce is just saying. They're all very, very relevant points to the in-depth industry. But dude, we're just tapping into the bros. Like, come fucking play. Come play.
Well, that's a good point, Brent. I feel that yourself.
You'll love it. Yeah. You don't.
We gotta do it backwards. We have to do it backwards. We have to show the developers the reason why they change. So by creating what you're talking about and improving on the league that I'm currently doing and stuff, and with the pro league being successful with Capcom and all this other stuff, like we need to show that the structure and the functionality exists, so these developers can finally say, okay, it's the only way it's gonna happen.
Now, it has to be that's trying to learn how to FADC into Ultra. Let him play too, man. Let him play. It's not fun when he gets blown up all the time. I'm looking out for the people. I don't care if you're on stick. I don't care if you're on pad. It doesn't matter. We're online. We're fun. It's every week. It gives you something to train for. It gives you a new direction and reason to play the game, and it revitalizes the fun. Dude, just have fun. Not enough people have fun. The FGC is nothing but pressure. And I'm telling you that from an outsider coming in.
Now piggybacking on what you actually said, Brett, I'm sorry to actually catch you off there.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But I have a couple of questions and comments rolling in here. And piggybacking on what you said, B-Boy Izella, and he says this to AfroCole, but I kind of want to pose this to everybody who is willing to answer this. Why would you take a risk on a group, ergo the FGC, that is consistently known for bad press and having sponsors drop the top players there?
Oh, easy, because with the hard pull, you're gonna keep pushing, and then something is gonna pop, because you know what I'm saying. Like, it's obvious that there's a problem going on, and there's Triforce said miscommunication. Like Brett said, not enough of the lower players get a chance, and it's all about top players. Something's gonna eventually give. People are jumping out right now because nobody's figured it out. But if someone's gonna figure it out, as long as we keep striving.
I figured it out. I just don't have the money.
Exactly.
That's right.
Nobody has the money here in the FGC. Nobody does.
If I won the lottery tomorrow, tell me I would put $5 million.
Cole and I were talking. Let's say Cole makes a pro scene, right? Like, his league's the pro league. They're the pro am league, right? Whatever. And do you know how many top players are not going to be okay with that? Because they're going to get everyone from the country in there. That there's people out there that will blow up these pros. They're just lurking in the shadows, they're not wanting to go to grassroots or whatever. And they're not going to be okay with it, because there's a good chance they'll get blown up by some Randy, and that's why it's going to work. That's why it's okay, because it exposes, everyone. I'll tell you what, I love the grassroots. I watch them every time they're up. Like I told you earlier in the stream, my friends want me to link them to it. But we're sick of seeing the same top 16, the same top 8. You open up this, and we filter through, and we have fun with my league, and you filter into Cole's league, and it gives you an opportunity to play against the pros and prove it. I think they're going to be scared, dude. I think you'll be surprised how many other people out there are just as good, willing to give them a run, and it's going to blow up the scene in a very good way. Maybe not
I've got a
the
question
current pros.
about all this real quick, because we're talking about the people of the FGC and everything, and let's say we create these these little tournaments and everything, okay?
Right.
And we're trying to build this into more of like an esports kind of thing. What's to say that the fighting game companies, like we said earlier, are actually going to go along with any of this? Unless, I mean, let's say in the future we do charge $5 a person to play in a team per season. Would they say, hey, we have to have a cut of whatever this is? I just don't see how the companies are just going to sit back.
They can't.
There has to be something to motivate them to want to do this whole esports.
Well,
Do you know
what I'm saying?
saying?
The thing is we don't need them from a license and TOS standpoint. We don't need them. Everyone that is playing has purchased the game and therefore has the right to do what they want. It's no different than going into your basement and hosting a poker game, be like $20 buy-in. You know what I mean?
Hold on. Here's where I have to disagree with you on that. Now, I understand from a passionate standpoint that you just want everyone to come and play. But in terms of the evolution of competitive gaming so that it can serve its esports agenda, nothing, and I mean nothing, there is no form of competitive entertainment on this planet that does not go anywhere if it is not industrialized. And competitive gaming, video games is what you're seeing right now. It's being industrialized. If you think fighting games is going to survive without going through its industrialization mode, I'm just going to tell you right now, you're wrong. It will die. And then it will die, and then someone will come in and someone will pick it up for pennies on the dollars, and they will build it, and they industrialize it, bring it into esports, and revive it. And the community will be gone. All right.
What do you mean?
Just to give you an example of industrialization.
Please.
Before, everyone used to play Quake on their computer. Remember when LAN first came out? That was the thing to do. Everyone had fun. And then a couple of investors came in and said, you know something, let's make some type of competitions with the one thing in mind to somehow create an infrastructure where this can create a business for us. Sell keyboards, sell headsets, different monitors, whatever it is that you want to call it. So they're advertising, marketing, and promoting alongside with the competition that we love so much. This has happened in baseball, football, hockey, skateboard, world football, the Olympics, every form of even chess and checkers.
Right.
Now, if you want it to survive or to expand, it has to be industrialized. That is where the whole esports thing is at. The FGC is, I'm telling you right now, it is not going to survive if it just goes create a platform where everyone can just come out and play. You know where it's going to go? It's just going to go online. That's it. That's where everyone goes and play. That's where everyone is right now.
Well, that is definitely my goal with
that's the point,
my league.
The point is we don't need their involvement to do what we want to do. No, you don't, because everyone can play.
You don't need their involvement. See, that's the thing. You don't need their involvement if everyone's just going to play. But the reality, this is the reality behind it.
Okay.
I had this conversation with Walter Day, and Walter, I asked Walter, why did what made you want to follow up the whole competitive gaming thing? And Walter said, I would like to one day see video games reach the level of baseball and football and things of that nature. And I was like, yeah, but we should all just play and have fun. He's like, everyone already plays and have fun. No one needs to convince anyone of something that we're already doing. Everyone is on right now as we're speaking. Blaz Blue is being run in the background. Somebody is playing and having fun. So the whole thing about we just need to play, that's a oxymoron, because we already are. The issue here is that even the people that are playing want more. We want more from it. We don't want to just play and have fun. We want to see this explode, be bigger than just playing to have fun. This is the whole industrialization.
You're preaching my credo. That's the whole point of the league. We're done.
Yeah, he's trying to be. Brett's league is trying to be an incubator to try to mold and build people into a team element, promoting themselves, rivalries, that whole element, and then grow into a pro league.
Yeah,
like my league, which would be.
Why would they not want to be a part? If we as a movement make it strong enough, why would Capcom not want to be a part? And use League of Legends because Riot wasn't originally involved. There was separate leagues, and then Riot was like, okay, there's some really cool shit going on. Then they took it over themselves and made the LCS. But League of Legends has been out for 4.5 years. You know, I played in the beta. Not until 2 years ago did anyone actually care. And once people cared and they started doing the Sunday Go for LOL tournaments, they started making their own brackets and things, then Riot got involved and was like, okay, now there's something here, so let's go with it. So we just need to be like, look, Capcom, you can make a game and we can play it and everyone has fun, and yes, you make your game sales, but wait till you see how much we love the game. Wait till you see that we do this on our own, that enough people take the initiative. We love our weekly tournaments. We love our grassroots tournaments, you know, and the grassroots obviously isn't enough. Well, maybe. And Capcom's trying to see. But, we love what we're doing. Get involved, man.
But here's the thing, and I'm really sorry to cut you off here, but...
No, go ahead.
And I saw someone mention me this on Twitter, saying, you know... Every title that's in competitive esports right now, or let's say quote-unquote esports, they have a really huge following that can pretty much dwarf any fighting game or all of our fighting games combined. So why do we deserve the time? Why do we you know, or why does Capcom have to be bothered with all of this right here?
Because it's accessibility. It's the only problem is we're just not reaching out to the people. Everybody loves, you know, to watch UFC. UFC is popular. If we have the accessibility of UFC, people will be watching it. The numbers are there. We're just not reaching out to them, and nothing is structured for people to even find stuff. You can't even find most fighting games unless you're following 2 specific websites. There's no information out there.
I'm trying to say we don't deserve the time, nor do we want the time. Fuck it, throw it all out. We are building a league just for the players, man. We will prove that we will earn the time as it goes. It doesn't matter.
I believe that we do need to go backwards. We're probably the one genre that has to do it.
Yeah, take it back.
To build it, and then like Triforce says, it does need to be industrialized. But we need to show. Yes. Unfortunately, we have the hardest task by showing the world why. We don't deserve the time. I'll tell you right now, coming from other genres, you don't deserve the time. But that doesn't matter, and that's not what you need to make it work. Throw it all out. Throw out esports. Throw out this. Throw out promotions.
Hold on for a second, Brett. You can't. There is one fundamental thing that stops this entire argument. This entire discussion. Money. At the end of the day, everyone is talking about they want to just have fun and, build this for the gamers. No, listen, they want money. Everyone wants money. It is their intellectual property. It is their video games. Right. Media rights gets involved. Once broadcasting,
wants the money?
Everyone wants the money. Anyone who said they don't want the money is lying.
Players? No, of course.
Everyone, the players and the players, the developers, the media, everyone wants the money, and this is why. Here's an example. But I'm gonna give you a prime example of someone who's doing this right now. Capcom always recognized how much people love their video games. The reason why Capcom did not step in back then is because Capcom did not know what to do if they did. So they let it, let it rock. The community is the one that did it because they said, hey, you know something? As long as they're buying our games and they're playing in there and enjoying it on a competitive level, that's all great. Now they understand how esports is. Now they know, and they built their own, trust me, they have their own business roadmap to this. Now they're like, it is time for us to infiltrate the scene. That's why you saw the Capcom Pro Cup last year. Now you have a Pro Tour, and best believe next year there will be a Capcom League, and then it will wipe out everything there is in the community. And everyone's gonna be like, no, we can build something in the community. No, you cannot. It is their game. They'll put a ban on you broadcasting their game. Pack it up. And the only way you're going to be able to play is to play in their league. And then everyone's going to say, well, I don't want to play in their league then. And
or
then they're
follow
say,
their rules, just like
or
Riot
follow their
does,
rules.
You know?
And then they're going to say, well,
Riot
guess
does
what?
it.
If you want to play our games, here's the incentive. We're going to put $1 million in our league. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to go. You're going to go. That's it. There's no more discussion about it anymore. You're going to go.
At the same time, they're probably trying to entice more sales and try to build some more money, because
I think that's
some of these companies are having.
You look at it like a market. You can't do that. I know
that. Hold on. You said you can't do that? That's what's being done.
Not at first. No, not at first. That's why it's not working. Not at first.
No, what do you mean? No, that's not true. It is working now. It didn't work then because no one tried it back then. If you look at fighting games right now, let's look at me and Cole. We've been in the scene for a very long time. When the community did it, we started out of an arcade, right? We went from an arcade to hotels.
No, I didn't mean the FTC. I didn't mean to offend you, sir.
No. You're not offending us. That's not what I'm saying. Don't take it as I'm taking offense to it. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. I'm trying to show you something that the industry did not know how to industrialize. Capcom did not know how to industrialize their own game. Capcom sat back for the last 4.5 years and watched what everyone did. Now they have their own map, and it's going to work. I'm telling you this right now. It is going to work. The only difference is that Capcom is doing something which, thank God they're doing, because they don't have to. They're finding a way to
still American side, so they're still iffy on that.
Yeah, that's still
even Japan supported.
Good point. Good point, Cole. But from an American standpoint, they're incorporating the communities. Capcom does not have to. They're just doing it. I can't speak on them, so I won't say the reason why. But the fact is, it's being actually done where they're incorporating communities. Last year, I had this conversation with Cole. I said, this is what's going to happen. They're going to burn down the FGC. Anyone who wants to live, to be a part of the industry for esports, is going to have to conform, which means sell their community tournaments into their pro league. If not, you will die. Capcom Pro Cup comes up. Anyone wants to be a qualifier for the Pro Cup? Every single community tournament already volunteered. This is the standard takeover. This is standard. This happens in every industry. These guys know what they're doing. They sat down for 4 years and watched GameStop and all these other companies get involved and what they did, and they built a well-lubed WD-40 greased up machine, and they got it ready and running. And a lot of people laugh, but these business guys, they know what they're doing. Capcom Cup's going to be ridiculous.
You're right. I'll tell you what. And this isn't me speaking like I know better than you do or anything like that. So please don't take it that way. But I'll tell you right now, you guys are talking about business things, right? Business standpoints, industrialization, like sponsorship involvement from like the company that made it. I'll tell you right now, any game that's ever done something for itself did not have them. You guys are forgetting it needs to be about the players. And I'll tell you right now, the reason it's not working and the reason you're not League of Legends is because you don't have the players. You just don't. You have them, but you're not letting them come out. You're not letting them come out.
They're not.
You're talking
a lot of them are turning into streamers.
You're talking to a guy that is primarily blacklisted in the scene. We are you. Our organization.
You're not me.
Trust me when I say
not
this.
Not in the realm of that. I'm telling you, I'm terrible, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm terrible.
I'm not talking about skill. I'm talking about in terms of acceptance. We've been in this community for 12 years now, and 12 years later, this organization has bred and housed some of the world's greatest players in fighting games. Yet the organization is not even known globally, and you have guys like Complexity, guys like EG, guys like Fnatic that comes into the FGC, get a couple of players that build a team, and those teams are more well known than a organic team like Empire Arcadia. Empire Arcadia's fighting division is 100% organic. No GMOs, no high fructose corn syrup, none of that nonsense. It's all grown straight from the ground. Yet it isn't accepted. And that's the point you're trying to make, that like the scene isn't even accepting those grassroots entities to help guide it and develop it in the future. I 100% agree with you on that. But none of that even matters anymore now, because the big boys are coming. Well, the big boys are now here. And what's happening is they're going to now burn down that entire landmass and put a whole new concrete bedding on it. It's going to be a whole new floor, a whole new platform.
Here's what I want to know. So Capcom, like you said, the big boys, Capcom comes in with their tournament now, right? Okay, so they got their Capcom Cup. I watched Final Round. What did they do? Host their own stream and give a bonus to the person that won? That's all I saw. That's all they did. That's all they did.
They actually tried to throw a Capcom party. And they're actually
that's
really
cool, man.
But it was supposed to be cool. No one even came.
It only affects people there. It only affects the 5%. I'm telling you. Let people play, man. Like the community will not work if you don't let people play. Like StarCraft, League of Legends, Counter-Strike.
That is why that is one of the premises of my league. I'm not only trying to allow people to play, I'm trying to allow arcades to be involved. So because they're dying as well. So it's like
you want to industrialize it. Well, you need something to industrialize.
Those people have to have a place to play, right? And so it is about accessibility, and that's why I really don't care if like the top players get into my league, even though a lot of them are. I mean, last season Super Arcade pretty much dominated Injustice and Street Fighter 4. But that was my first kind of like big top players in my league. But it's supposed to be for everybody. In my league, we had the top players, we had the mid players, and we had the underdog, the super underdogs. And the Southwest Division was the only division to finally where the top dogs actually won. But most of the time, the underdogs were coming up because they were so spirited to play. They were just like, oh, here's our chance, man. We're actually going to be a team and let's do this and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, it's there.
You guys got ahead of yourselves because you got excited that these other games are doing it because they're PC games. I know, and that's a disadvantage
it's not
at the
that
beginning.
We're excited. It's just a process.
But you've been around so long. You're like, oh, we're ready to transition into this. But you didn't understand. Let the people play. I'm talking like
I don't know about that. I've always
exactly.
That is the reason why I travel so much is because I reach out to the people. I reach out. That's the only reason why people even know about my league is because it is about the people. I've known that from the beginning, and that is what drives me is the people. And I know that the only reason why my
take a look at this real quick because I have a little bit of an idea that might help a little. So let's take a look at Evo real quick. We are already in for the massive people that go to Evo, we are already in the 4 largest ballrooms in Evo.
Okay.
In Las Vegas, I'm sorry. They're already full, okay?
Right.
If we
she's dropping.
Hypothetically start.
Oh, she's dropping.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
You got Minnie Mouse.
Brett's free league.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, really?
Oh,
if we start with Brett's free league and get anyone, if we get anyone and everyone involved, all the regular guys, and then you build your way up. Think about all the huge, massive people that then, once you get to Jason's, they finally get better. all these additional people are going to want to go to Evo. They're going to want to go to Texas Showdown and Final Round and be a part of these other things. Then when the companies make these new games, Street Fighter V, that's going to be another 1,000, 2,000 people that would want to give, hey, $80 for Street Fighter V, buy all the costumes, buy whatever, all the extra stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I'd be hard pressed.
They wouldn't be losing.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be hard pressed to find a reason why they wouldn't support this format. It brings in new players. They'll purchase the game or they'll play the game. It allows current players to pursue some sort of amateur pro league status, thanks to what Cole's doing, to get themselves filtered in.
And it also allows us to grow the community, to introduce more people into this.
Exactly.
And instead of these people, well, you'll still have your casual players no matter what. But you'll be introducing more somewhat competitive players, and they'll want to shell out the cash to go to these tournaments, to buy more of these games, to buy the guides and whatever else.
Dude, you're just gonna feel proud. I'm telling you, guys. That's what I'm saying. The FGC skipped a couple steps. Like, you guys jumped too much into knowing that you have an established community, which you absolutely do. You have the oldest established community in the books. You really do.
Oldest, but unfortunately, we started on console without any kind of internet and no PC.
Bring it back. You're old, but you'd be surprised how much new wants to be a part of your old. Like, bring it back.
Well, that's what you're not understanding. We do understand about the new community. That is what it's all about.
The new community. You're going to. Just to give you an example, I'm just going to put this out there so it can be said it was set on meter burn, right? When MLG and Capcom come to agreement, I didn't say if. Notice I said when.
Correct.
When they come to an agreement, everything that we had this discussion on this show is going to go right out the window. The numbers are going to go up. The players are going to come out. It's going to be mainly a lot of top players. It's going to have the same numbers. Actually, no, it's going to have more numbers than Evo. And the reason why is because it is driven by money. It is unfortunate. It is a very unfortunate thing. I'm not a money guy. I've been running my organization with very little money off of the principle that I'm a gamer and I want to see, gaming grow and expand and whatnot, obviously. But I'm a realist. And when these leagues get this, they're going to want to come and they're going to want to work with people like Jason Cole, who can help them build these, I don't want to use the word institution, but I think it's the best, build these mini institutions, right? To help develop different tiers of competitors to then take them to the leagues where they're going to be able to compete at the highest level.
But how does someone new get there? How does someone very new?
You don't, and that's what I'm trying to explain.
They created the business. She's saying the business.
You joined my league. You joined my league.
That's because you're selling your league. But even you as a StarCraft player knows that StarCraft and first-person shooters, RTS and MOBAs, they didn't start because the community built something.
Yes,
someone from the outside came in and they paid for it. And they built the institution. They built the institution.
What you're basically saying is that
that's so wrong.
Someone's going to come in from the outside, or if the companies decide to do this, they're going to form a monopoly.
Okay, let me to answer your question. To answer your question, I'm going to ask you a question. How did MLG start? Do you guys even know?
Yeah, I do.
Because some kids don't get paid.
I don't know.
But kids don't get paid.
They're .comers, man. They're a bunch of money heads.
Now,
Sundance does not pay them.
We can sit here and everyone can say, and I don't want to sit here and talk about someone's credibility in terms of them being paid, because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about their league. They started out of a garage, and now look where they are. Now, you have to ask yourself a question. Did Sundance have that money? No. Sundance is a gamer himself. Where did that money come from? And when they paid him that money, What did they pay him the money for? Was it to pay so that everyone could come out and play video games and have fun? No, this is about business. Somebody is making a whole lot of money. We all know the gamers are not making any. The gamers are the slave wages. We're the guys. I made a Twitter post. I said people do not understand the incalculable amount of sacrifices that is made on the ground floor for these large leagues and companies and esports to stand. But that's the nature of business. You know, you make money off of the little people. But what I'm trying to say is for fighting games, it is the very same thing. Evo isn't what it is because the canons so, wanted the players came out and made it.
It just became player sanctioned. It just somehow in the community said, this is the Big Dick tournament. If you're going to come to one each year, come to this one. And so that's why everyone comes.
Actually, I have the perfect example of this. Here's a perfect example of this. This is the primary example. Okay. So MLG started out with Smash Brothers, right? Well, they didn't start out with Smash Brothers, but they always had Smash Brothers in their lineup for like almost a decade now, right?
Halo, yeah.
Right? They lost Smash.
Are you talking about fighting games or?
No.
I'm just talking about MLG.
Like MLG fighting games or?
Yeah, MLG and Major League Gaming fighting games, and you can say that MLG fighting games because I'm going to show you the future of fighting games. I don't want to say the future of the fighting game community because it's just the future of fighting games. The community is the last thing on anyone's mind, and for various reasons. But anyway, Smash Brothers came in, it got pulled. I don't want to speculate the reasons. I'm not going to. The game now had a voting contest on the breast cancer, awareness thing. They won. They got the game in. Big argument with the people at Nintendo and Evo. People don't even know what Evo really did, why Nintendo even said no for the begin with, but everyone was blame Nintendo for something, but whatever. Nintendo allows the game to rock. Right after the game rocks, all of a sudden, is a big silence. The following year, Evo and MLG has Smash Brothers. I just can't understand how people can't see it. How do people just think, oh no? Now here's a question: do you think it's because they're letting people play to have fun? Why the numbers are going to be astronomical for both Evo and MLG and a couple of other people that's going to get Smash Brothers? Or do you think it's because someone put together a nice, good formula business plan?
Or Reddit put a bot together that just spams the voting, if that's what you're talking about.
No, I'm not talking about the voting. What I'm trying to compare is Smash Brothers as a fighting game being institutionalized versus the other games.
Yeah, Smash Brothers is such a more welcoming community, man, and that's why more people want to play it. It is. It's just a cooler thing, and I'm telling you this not because I know all, and not because I know better, and I'm sorry if I come off that way, but I'm telling you, you look at it, Triforce, from a very, very business-esque standpoint.
No, I actually, believe it, Brett, believe it or not, I don't. I'm looking at it from both standpoints. I was there in the community when Smash Brothers first came to Evo, and the fighting game community tore it a new anal hole, and they were bashing it. I was defending because I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I was like, why are you people just so against Nintendo? Oh, play a real fighting game. No one's gonna play stupid Mario, blah, 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 blah.
Beginning of the FGC hate.
Yeah, but everything you talk about, Triforce, is you're talking about, like, company involvement and, linking with the MLG and going through this. And you're talking about all the very necessary steps that need to happen.
No, I'm not talking about the necessary time. I'm telling you what's already in the works. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, okay, that's fine. I didn't know that. Okay, so you're talking about what's in the works. Anyway, you're speaking business to me. Okay? It has to start before that. I'm just trying to say, man, here's an avenue to let the people play. You want to play Street Fighter? Just join the website and just set up a team and just play the league. And the reason anything else beyond that will work is because you have the players. Like, man, just let the people play. Like, even if it's shitty, even if the netcode's shitty. Like even if
you're
whatever.
talking about you're talking about. See, in my mind, I thought you were having a conversation about the development of esports, but you're talking about playing on your league. No, playing
Yeah,
in
he's
your.
just talking about playing a league that is basically an amateur league that's just made there to incubate players
Right,
that are just
introduction.
coming in a very entry level, like, no one cares, no one gives, we just go in there, we play, we're part of a region, and we're just trying to be the best on our region because we just learned how to play Street Fighter, we just learned how to play this or that.
I'm trying to structure
which
the game
can coexist with what's going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to structure the game to where all of these stream monsters that you see blowing up Final Round stream, blowing up PR Barog stream, dude, let them play. Give them an avenue to play.
I wasn't going against that. I didn't know that's what you were talking about. I thought your argument was that the only way things are going to make it is if you just let gamers play. I didn't know you were trying to push your particular service or league that you would. I didn't know. I'm not going against that. I'm not going against.
Just let the people play, man. This is an avenue to.
You guys are actually talking about
you are
two
wrong.
totally different.
We're talking about
but both of you guys are correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Triforce, you're talking about what Cole wants to do. I'm saying for now, let the people join a league. Excuse me. I am a shitty Street Fighter player, right? I am shitty. I have a couple combos that I know, a couple BMBs, and I like to get down, and Bobby comes over and he shits on me, and he's like, and your ass. So, I like to have fun, okay? But I want to get better without just creating these lobbies where random kids just join in, and it's like, oh, now I play an A+ grade, however they work it online, Cammy, and she just blows me up, and I learn nothing. But I'm creating a league for everybody that comes home to enjoy themselves and to do this and to be a part of it. And you can work your way up, all the way up into the Pro-Am League, which is Cole's, which is where we'll get
Cole's or
just like
Pro
just
League,
like
Capcom Pro League, or MLG.
Yeah, just like you're saying, Triforce, that's when the sponsorships, that's when the scouts are looking at you, you got sponsorships, that's when this is looking at you, that's when we talk about, like, how do we make it esports? How do we do this? I
made a statement that agreed with with what you just said right there. I said it's gonna come to a point where you guys are building these small institutions and incubators, and that gives investor a reason. Yes. Because just playing, and see, this is where we were having two different conversations. Just playing isn't good enough. They need that they're playing, and they need a reason.
What's the purpose?
What's the purpose? Right. What does your service provider, what does it do? They'll invest in that. But I thought you were just saying, no, just let them play video games and the investors will come and invest. Because I'm like, no, they won't. You have to have a service.
You'd be surprised once you see how many people like to play just to play. And I think that's where the FGC falters is like, and that's what League did. That's what Dota did. That's what
the NFL did. Let's take it back to sports history.
It's just like let them play. Like, you would be surprised how many people love to play without any avenue of getting paid or making a name for themselves. They just love to play. Just let them play. This is their passion. They get down. You would be surprised how many people will join that are just like me, that just want to get better for the sake of getting better. This is their hobby.
Hey, Brett.
This is what they do.
Brett.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've kind of extenuated that point throughout this whole show, but it is about 11:04.
Yeah.
Any more Q&As?
Well, we had a couple here, but I really need to get going because I do have work at 5 o'clock in the morning. But before I go, I want to basically. But I want to get some final thoughts from you guys out here. Brett, Cole. I have a feeling that this whole league, if it actually takes off, will actually blow up. There are a lot of people in the chat talking with mixed reviews, but that's exactly what I want. So what I want the viewers and whoever views this on the Twitch archives or YouTube archives or whatever, send me a tweet or send me a message on Facebook or message Kujo Katie about what you felt about these guys' rubric to bridging the gap between competitive fighters and competitive everything else.
And then that will help us develop something too. It'll help us develop and figure out, what do we need? What do we need to fix? So we can get more people involved and then help this get a little bit more steady footing.
Debugging process, right? We can debug it. We can figure it out.
I know personally I need feedback, but we all need feedback in order to grow, this league. Man. So at AfroCole, hit the Blacktastic, Kujo Katie, even Triforce, hit us all up on Twitter.
Yeah, guys. Actually, for next episode, I want to be doing an open forum. I want to keep this topic rolling because this is a very crucial topic, and to actually kind of generalizing and solidifying our placement in competitive fighters. And I want to thank Isaiah Triforce Johnson for joining us here. Again, guys, next session will be April 8th of 2014. And once again, this is the Blacktastic. And for Brett Buckholz, Jason, Kujo Kate, and Mr. Empire Arcadia himself, I am signing off. Good night.
Good night.
Peace out, everybody. Good stuff.